Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to math. We're still covering functions for sine and cosine. Okay, so our objective for today is to know how to shift those parent functions that we worked with last class. Hint, hint. I will use the same ones we used last class. Therefore, your work for today will be to continue those you did last class as well. Okay. So if you guys remember, last class we have y. Okay, so y equals sine x. Okay, we used for x, we ended up using pi over 2. Okay, so we ended up graphing our parent graph last class. Today we're actually going to add a little more to this graph. Okay, we're going to say minus 2, okay, plus 1. Okay, we're adding a little bit of a shift now. Okay, we're adding an h and we're adding a k. Okay, I will say this, on the original problem, your equation is negative on the inside for your h and positive for k. Okay, therefore we're shifting it 2 and 1. Okay, meaning if we were to graph this equation, if you guys remember, for sine, we start at the origin. Then we have pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi, 5 pi over 2. So we go, since there's a 1 here, we're going to go up 1, okay? Then back to origin, then down 1, okay, on the next one. On the next one, on the next cycle, we're going to go back to origin, and then we're going to go up 1 on our next one. So it looks something like this, as you guys remember. Okay, so just a little better. And the next one will be back to origin, and then on this side we'll go down, and then we'll go up, and so on. Okay, we'll go 1 here, and we'll go up. Okay, that was the parent graph we did last class. Okay, just for the sine theta or pi over 2. Now we have a negative 2 plus 1, meaning since it's positive 2, okay, our h, we're going to move h is left and right, okay? Positive h means to the right, negative h means to the left, okay? So therefore positive k means up, negative k means down. Since they're both positives, we're going to move to the right and up, okay? So every point we have here, our original point, we're going to move it 2 to the right and 1 up. So 1, 2, let's do another color here. Let's use this green. So we have 1, 2, and then 1 up. Okay? The next point, again, we have 1, 2, and then 1 more up. Okay? Our origin, okay, x, or 2 for x. Again, we're going to move it 2, 1, 2, and then 1 up. And then the next one, obviously the same thing. We're going to move 2, 1, 2, and 1 up. Okay, and so on and so on. So this one here on our negatives, it's going to go 1, 2, and then 1 up. So our line is going to look something like this. Okay, and then since this is the negative 1, the other one's going to go up. Okay, so the green is our shifted graph. Our maroon is our parent graph. Okay, I will say this, guys. If you already, last class, if you send me the parent graph, you really don't have to redo the parent graph again. okay? All you have to do is graph the new one, okay, on your new worksheet, okay, the new piece of paper you're gonna send, okay? All right, let's do one more, this time one for cosine. So if you have y cosine pi over 2, this time we're gonna make it a little more easier, okay? Let's say minus 1 plus 1, okay? I'm just gonna do 1 and 1. Again, since they're both, this one's negative, it's gonna be positive 1. The outside is positive, so again it's 1. So h and k, okay? So again, we do our graph. We have our point, we have a 1, we have 2, we have negative 1, negative 2, we have pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi, 5 pi over 2, and so on, okay? And then we have negative pi over 2, negative pi, okay? Again, this time I'm going to do the points only for the parent graph, but I'm not really going to connect them, okay? So we have our first point. Again, since it's cosine, this time we start at the actual point. Since there's a 1 in front of the cosine, imaginary 1, we start off at 1. Then we go to center. Then we go down 1. Then back to center. Then up 1. And then back to center. Okay? That was the graph from last class. Our new graph, though, it's going to be all the points are going to shift to 1 to the right and 1 up. So therefore, our first point is going to go 1 to the right and 1 up. Our center one is going to go 1 to the right and 1 up. The bottom one's going to go 1 to the right and 1 up. Okay, well technically this one's first, it goes up 1. The bottom goes 1 to the right and 1 up. The next one goes 1 to the right and 1 up. And then again, okay? So all our points are moving in the opposite direction, okay? So if you guys remember, we started off here. We went 1 to the right, 1 up. The next one was 1 to the right, 1 up. The next one was 1 to the right, 1 up. The next one, 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up. Okay, and then our next one again, it's gonna go 1 to the right and 1 up. So your line is gonna go something like this. Okay. Once you connect all your dots, okay. Keep in mind, well, technically it should look something a little better. There we go. All right, so you guys get the point, okay? All you have to do is shift them. Here's your assignment for today, guys, okay? On the ones you did last class, you did 2, remember? You did 2 for sine, 2 for cosine, 1 with a 1 in the front, okay? And then 1 with another number. If I'm not mistaken, it was a negative number. All you have to do is, I'm going to give you guys the choice, okay, of choosing your own numbers for H and K, okay? Because I want you guys to also not only get in the hang of knowing how to graph it, but in the test, they might ask you to create an equation, okay? This way you get the hang of how to create an equation using your own numbers. I will say this, don't use too big of a number because your graph will go too high and too low, okay? All right, guys, so make sure you submit your answer as soon as you're done watching the video, and I'll be waiting for your email.